Okay, hi, welcome to this video showing you different ways that you can set up your frame loom ready for your weaving on top of it. Basically, I'm just going to show you those two ways. Both of them end with twining. The first, I just have a cardboard, and basically that prevents you from beating your weaving too far down. And this is the second method, which I'm just going to show you now. So you basically get the warp string, you're going to tie it across the width of your frame 3 times, and you're going to weave it in and out. So you start by tying off securely to one side of the frame, and then you're going to weave it through. You can use a needle, the shuttle. So I've got this set up with a heddle, so all I've done here is I've just opened up the shed. But however you want to weave it through, just weave it through. And then when you get to the other side, pull it really tight and tie it off on the other side of your loom. I've hitched the knots here so I can undo it, but you don't need to do it. You don't need to do that. You can just double knot it. It's also fine. Okay, you're going to do it again, but this time in the other shed. You can just start to adjust the strings a bit here before doing the final string. Okay, so now you've done it. Pull it tight, tied it off. There you go. You can see you can really start to adjust the warp strings and even them out, but make sure you don't pull it in. So now we're going to do twining. So for the twining, I'm going to do 2 layers. So you want to cut 6 widths of your work off. Put the center around the first warp string, and it follows this pattern: right over left and behind the next warp string. The right goes over the left and behind the next warp string. The right over the left, and you just continue with that. So you're continually just basically crossing them over from each other and putting them behind. As you go along with twining, don't pull it too tight like that, and don't leave it too loose like that either. You want to have them so the tension is just catching onto the warp strings like that. And as you go along through the weaving, just every so often, just make sure you're not pulling in, bring it down, work your way across. Okay, when you get to the end, you're going to go as if you're carrying on. Right goes over the left, but this time it comes back around the first warp string in the other direction. And then you're going to start in reverse. So now it's left over right behind the next warp string. So to finish, especially if you've got a frame loom and it's easy, just turn the frame loom around and do a double knot at the back. Again, you want to be sure you don't pull it in. You don't want the warp strings to come in. And likewise, you don't want to have it too loose that it bubbles on the outside. And you'll sew these ends in if you're keeping it once the tapestry's done. So just do a double knot. And just tuck that directly on the warp string without pulling it in. And that is how you do twining, and that's very handy technique to know, very simple. When you cut off from the loom, you'll cut off from the bottom, and the 3 strings that have tied to the frame will just come undone. And then the twining, it's advisable to keep it in because it will really add as an extra base to your weaving, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to. So with the cardboard, it's just woven in basically, and you can do 1, 2, 3 strips. Here I'm just showing you you can weave in 2 strips on 2 different sheds. Just have the height of the gap that you want to maintain so that you don't beat too far down. That's it. And you repeat the twining on top, and it's the same thing. It's just a different way of doing it. When you would finish, you cut off the loom, and the cardboard strips would come out, and then you've got the security of those warp strings that you can tie off. The advantage of this method as opposed to the cardboard method is, if you can see, so I wrapped the warp strings around the base of that loom, and it's quite wide, so those strings will bring it very nicely in. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks.